Welcome back to some Monster Hunter Rise. On this episode, we're going to be doing this mission here, the Almudron and the Mitsuzune.
I wish you luck.
So I've been having some fun playing some other games. I recently did a bunch of the Adventures of Lolo, and the Adventures of Lolo is a platforming game, or I guess it's not really platforming, it's a puzzle-solving game where you push blocks. And I think people in chat seem to like that. Not too active because I guess it's hard to, share that information on how you would solve the puzzle while they're actively in the middle of solving it. But I have cut down significantly on the latency for my stream, so hopefully that's not a problem anymore. But it's pretty fun. I'm gonna have a couple of those videos come up on, what is that, February the 5th, I think? It's a Saturday. I'm not sure when this video is going to go up, but hopefully you get to see that before, well, yeah, you'll definitely see that before this video goes live. I can tell you that much for sure. So I've got that in the books. I'm also thinking about maybe doing a randomizer or speed running a game. Whenever I get the chance, I'm going to take a look into that because one of my favorite games ever was Super Metroid. And there's obviously a really huge community around Super Metroid and like both speed running, just long playing it, mods, randomizers, a whole bunch of stuff for Super Metroid. So I could definitely sink my teeth into that. And the Link to the Past randomizers, a couple of years ago, I was really interested in starting that because I was watching the speedruns live, I think. It may have been something to do with SGDQ, but I think it was a separate entity doing them on YouTube and Twitch a lot. And I was interested in starting them, but I was worried that, I was going to have to invest a whole lot into learning the routes and knowing all the secret paths, and each league they had like different setups for it. So like in some of them you would have keys that were locked to the individual dungeons, and others where you could get keys for a different dungeon in the one that you're in. And oh man, that's so complicated. But yeah, I thought about putting that in the works.
Excuse me.
Obviously, there's going to be a bunch of new games coming down the pipeline soon. I got Elden Ring to look forward to in the next coming weeks, which is part of the reason why I need to quickly get through Monster Hunter. And once I'm through Monster Hunter, I can more easily transition to doing some Elden Ring stuff. Not that I'm bored with this yet. We are kind of at that point, though, where you have to just do a whole bunch of grinding, but specifically, I think a new game, plus hopping on it at the time that it becomes available, will be helpful for the channel in general. Not to talk, too much inside baseball on the reasoning behind it, but I think that's kind of always going to be a little bit of the motivation behind the things that I do, is what's healthy for the channel. Because otherwise you just end up doing things that you only like yourself, but that doesn't help in growing your channel. Ooh. And yeah, I think that's a healthy approach to it. Plus, I really liked Bloodborne, so if we get Elden Ring, that's probably going to be something I resonate well with, because I can only imagine that it's very, very similar. Let's see, what else do we have coming up the pipeline? I do want to do some kind of Monster Hunter themed week or day before I close out this this chapter of the channel with Monster Hunter Rise. Do something like an SOS Sunday or SOS Saturday, something like that, where I can just try to help out people with their runs, or just helping them rank up or something. Could be a lot of fun. I also could go back and play World or something like that, show off what I did in that game, but I don't think I could do that without exposing my previous accounts. I also did a lot of modded stuff in it, so I'm not sure if the account is even still valid. It could have been banned. I don't think Capcom cares about the things I did because it was mostly just layered armor things and cheating in the specific decorations that I wanted because I was pretty fed up with the RNG on that. But if they did find some way to detect you illegally getting those things, then that account is definitely fucked. I did also, you know, along with Elden Ring coming out soon, Guild Wars End of Dragons is about to hit, and I already pre-bought that because I got a compilation with the 2 other expansions for it. However, I never really finished the main campaign, even. So I'm not sure if I should stream End of Dragons as soon as it comes out because I'm gonna be lost in the lore probably. I really need to do Path of Fire and Heart of Thorns before then, but I just haven't gotten around to it. I've been doing other things. I had to, man, the whole process of getting that account set up was fucking weak because I had a Guild Wars 1 account with ArenaNet, and whenever I played Guild Wars 1, it was a long time ago. That would have had to been like 2007 or 2008 when I was playing that. And obviously it was a lot of fun. I played it a bunch. I was in a guild. We did some of the Hall of Heroes stuff. I had a ton of fun playing through the campaigns. But whenever my guild stopped playing, I stopped playing, and I didn't come back to it until years later when I saw Guild Wars 2 was out, and I was like, oh, I have an ArenaNet account, and I had the game still loaded up on there. So I went to take a look at it and tried to log in, and I had some problems logging in. I'm like, oh, what's going on here? Why can't I log in? Well, it turns out my account was banned because apparently somebody had hacked my password, gotten in, sold everything I had, and given it all away, and left me with nothing. And then used the account probably for something illegal, not illegal, but, you know, against their terms of service. And so, oh well. So much for that account. So I had to make a whole new account so that I could get Guild Wars 2 and start playing it. Wait, is Mitsuzune over here? No, Mitsuzune went over to 1. So we had that going for us. I can definitely get into some guild horrors. I just need to do a little bit of stuff beforehand, which could be hard if my schedule is full of Elden Ring. I get the feeling that game is going to take up a lot of time, especially if I get really invested in it, like I'm expecting to. Man, there's other things like the Risk of Rain 2 update's about to happen. I just watched the video for that. Geez. They're going to be adding in a whole bunch of stuff to it, so that's going to get refreshed. And I already thought I played my heart out on it, but just watching some of the new stuff be announced, I'm already excited to see what goes on. Because they're adding in basically alternate forms of a lot of the items, which means that you know, you're gonna be able to get entirely different builds out of it, and the fact that it replaces the item effect means that you're not going to be able to stack it with the existing item effect. So there is a little bit of lack of overlap there, unless I misunderstood how it works. But because of that, you could end up with some really interesting builds where you have to take a trade-off, and I like having options like that where you have to choose between a couple things. I know there's something else coming out in March, but think about that. Or February. March is a little bit down the line. Let's see. So if we're talking about February, the Guild Wars, the Elden Ring, and You know, the Risk of Rain's coming out in March, so that is a bit off. We're probably fine on that. But there was something else coming out soon in February, I know. What am I forgetting? Oh well, it'll come back to me at a time when I'm not thinking about it and it just brushes up against my brain. My brain worms. What about you guys? You guys in chat, are you excited about anything coming out next month? Or you have any ideas about what to stream next month? I always have like the good old staples of Terraria to lean back on because, man, I could play Terraria until, you know, the end of time. It's just almost indefinitely replayable with all the mod content and stuff. And it's just fun. I like oh, that's red. I like the combat because if you were to ask me to play Minecraft again, I would probably hesitate. They've done some updates since the last time I played it, but I don't think it's enough to get me back in there. Plus, I would have to play it modded. I can't not play Minecraft modded since, like, Tekkit came out.
Wonderful work, my
Fucking Tekkit is, like, a necessary component to Minecraft, and I really think Mojang should just add it in as a base part of the game. But it's still on the table. I mean, Minecraft is popular for a reason, and most people do play it modded. It's just, every time I've played modded Minecraft, I feel like I've had to get a different launcher for it. And now I've got like 12 single-use Minecraft launchers on my computer somewhere. It's a little bit annoying. But I also don't want to get back into Terraria until Tmod Loader is good with Journey mode. If I can hold out until that happens to playing Terraria again, I think I could do myself and the stream a big bonus with that.
Some humans could learn from you.
Guys have gone quiet on me. Yeah. Oh, I've got to agree with you on Elden Ring, so I think we've covered that in previous streams. I probably won't be attending those streams mainly because I'm too busy with it myself. Understood. It's definitely going to be one of those ruin your life kind of games where that's all you're able to do. What's he doing? Because I mean, honestly, it's not just Elden Ring. That's kind of how I binge gaming. I like to focus on one game and play it to completion, and then play a different game to completion, not having multiple up at the same time. Just lets me stay focused in it more. It's like if you try to play a game of, what is it, like Civilization, and you ever like stop the game and try to come back to it again, I can't do it. I just can't do it. Like every time I try to come back to a save file in Civilization, I just immediately go, what was I doing? What was happening here? Who do I like? Who do I hate? Just doesn't seem to work out well. So just by staying on the same thing over and over until I get it completely done, or at least to the point where I'm done with it. Maybe not completely done, like 100%, but getting it to the point where I'm done with it, and then never playing it again. It's basically how I handle most games. Which I think says a lot about the ones that I do keep coming back to. But we'll see. Plus, I don't know, like, is Elden Ring going to have a big modding community? Are you going to be able to do a lot of stuff online with it? I can imagine you can, because that seems to be FromSoft's like forte, is doing things like setting up the PvP and doing duels, and there's lots of people that are interested in fashion souls. But at the same time, this is a basically new IP for them. I don't think it has anything to do with Dark Souls, Demon Souls, so they might switch that up, and it might not have as much of a community holding. Borderlands is like that for me. I always forget what my build was and I was going for it. Yep. And then you just basically want to start over. Yeah, it's one of those games where I just basically have to binge it. Again, for the same reason, because I'll be like, oh, what did this gun do? What was I doing with this gun? What was my, my like, rotation of skills? Oh, I don't know. Alright, might as well start over. Or use a character editor and just make another one. More games should have that. Man, I got like an extra couple 100 hours out of Diablos 2 because of that character editor. And already made like max level characters in Diablos. Oh. But let's see. You know, that's another one. Diablos 4 is going to be coming out. Lost Ark is on the way. Those are two games that kind of fit a similar niche. Lost Ark I played a little bit of the beta of. I think that could be fun. I'm worried that it's not going to be as polished as I would expect a Diablos to be. Borderlands for me, I just get bored because I come up with a build, get halfway there, and then lose interest with it when it slows down. Yeah. Yep. I totally get that. I sometimes get that way with Terraria also, because when I play Terraria, I really enjoy the game up until the point where you have really good flying, because I feel like the flying for me just ruins it. Because whenever you fly, you don't basically have to worry about platforming anymore. And when you don't have to worry about the platforming, the game just kind of is lame. All you're doing is basically hovering right in front of the boss, and or whatever it is you're fighting, and you don't have to really worry about anything. There's obviously a little bit of exaggeration there, because like Moon Lord is clearly a bit rougher than just staying in front of them. But really, like the early game in Terraria is like building these really particular like boss structures and arenas and trying to set it up so that you have the best chance to survive. But then at a certain point when you get flying, it's just about, you know, run away. You play stay away. You play keep away. I feel like it just gets lame. Oh yeah, but anyway, Lost Ark. Played the beta of that, and I think it's pretty good, so that's another one that I've got my eyes out for, and that's going to become available soon, I think. We'll go look at the release date for that. But outside of that, like, Super Auto Pets is still pretty entertaining. I could try to do more Vampire Survivors, because Vampire Survivors is still pretty fun right now just because it's new. But I think it's going to be hard to stream, considering that it went down to like, what was it? Like 2 frames per second while we were playing. And that could be a little bit rough to watch, if we're being honest. Turned a 30-minute game into like a 45-minute game just because of how much slowdown there was.
Not quite sharp enough.
I could always do some more retro gaming. I already mentioned Lolo, but I did play Conflict last night. I went ahead and opened up, I found the original instruction manual for it, just to see what was in there. And man, the game is like 10 times more complicated than I even thought it was. And it does a terrible job of explaining itself on top of that. So, whenever you're doing battles in that game, it tries to do a, like, as best as it could as an old NES game, a real-life battle simulation. So, whenever you first interact with enemies, there's a chance that you can't actually see them, and you have to locate them. And you only know if you can see them if you can see the enemy on the screen whenever it says it's your turn. So you have to pick up on that context clue. On top of that, you could see the enemy and know which position they're looking at you from. So if you can see the front of their like tank or something, then you know that you're looking at them head on and they can spot you and they can retaliate. If you see them from the side or the back, then you basically are flanking them and you're going to have a better chance at hitting them. And you just kind of have to know that by looking at the pictures. It doesn't really explain that in the instruction manual or in the actual gameplay itself. So you've already got that. Then on top of that, it has this like attack, counter-attack system where, what's the best way of explaining it? Basically, if you're both attacking each other, you're in a slugfest. You can just attack and attack back and attack and attack back. But what usually ends up happening is one person takes evasive one person takes evasive maneuvers to avoid getting hit. And then if you have a strong enough evasive, then you get to do a counterattack. And then you basically go back and forth. Hi, the cat has arrived. Hi, Lastiniaru. Welcome to the chat. How is it going? Are you having a lovely day? But you usually end up doing this attack-counter-attack thing in Conflict. And it makes the battles take so much longer because only one person at a certain point ends up being the aggressor while one person is the defender. And so the battles just take forever because until you can get back into a position where you're the attacker, you don't get to attack. And so even if you have like an overwhelmingly powerful unit against a weak one, if you end up being the one that's on the defensive, you can have like 4 turns in a row where you're just constantly defending. And it's annoying. But otherwise it's basically like advanced, what was it called? Advanced Battle? Or Advanced Wars, yes. Where you're just like doing this turn-based war game. Making units, trying to build counter units, and yeah, it's pretty fun. But at the same time, the battles can be really drawn out and boring. So if I could get an updated version of it, then that would be great. If they had re-released it, that would have been nice. But oh well. You don't have to be shy, Last Mayu. We have plenty of Russian bots that come through and just try to drop links to like dating sites or something. So, you know, we're used to people popping in. As long as you're not at that level, you should be fine. Alright, Megnamalo is in the map. I just kind of walked into that. Pacha! Pacha! Could probably do some React content after this. After we get a couple hunts in, we could go watch some videos. That could be pretty fun. See a fun way to end out the stream. What do you guys think? What are you all doing tonight anyway? Other than, obviously, sitting in here and watching the stream. Kind of sounds like Run-On is playing some Monster Hunter World. Which I can't blame them there. I think I like World more than I like Rise. Oh hey look, I mentioned the Russian bots and then what happens? Dogs? Then we get a Russian bot right in here. Right as I say it. Maybe they are listening. Maybe they're more intelligent than I give them credit for. I'm actually playing Vampire Survivors. I like the skeleton dude. Yeah, he gets extra projectiles. It's really nice. Oh.
Revive my trusty weapon!
Can help out a heck ton. Yep, got that right. Locating the 3 Elder Dragons that appeared after killing Nergigante. Ooh, have fun with that.
No more holding back!
Definitely. Oh, I definitely like that that quest line a lot better than the lead up in this one. Oops, missed my wire bug chance. Because in this one, well, all of the story doesn't happen in cutscenes. In Monster Hunter World, you get some really nice cutscenes. It definitely has better build-up. Even though most people don't like the handler, including myself, it's still, you know, character building. She has arcs. She gets herself in trouble, but she has, like, desires and motivations. You know, her family and all of that. It's pretty nice. And then this one is just, hey, you're the hunter of the village. Go hunt the monsters, hunter. That's your job. So, I don't know. Definitely like the story in World more. Tension building, you know, you gotta stop Zora Magdaros from getting to this ley line, and we're on the hunt, we're trying to find parts, they're missing, we need to hunt it down. And here it's just like, okay, the quest person says it's time to go here and do stuff, so go here and do stuff. You also, oh yeah, and you have like the quest where you have to like try to find this mysterious monster that's been showing up in different locales, and then you find out it's the Azure Rathalos and the Pink Raytheon. Definitely like that. That was cool. And then I think I've already bitched and moaned about it a lot, but I still like the idea of having the cool drink and the... Ooh, that was close. The cool drink and the hot drink in different environments, and the toxic stuff for when you're in the like Elder Dragon Graveyard, whatever that was called. Like having those environmental things that kind of block you off from being able to not really progress, but make the hunts easier to achieve, I think is a big part of Monster Hunter. Oh, the Rotten Vale, yeah. It's kind of part of the Monster Hunter identity to have areas like that, and the fact that there's not one in this game kind of makes me sad. I like that stuff. I like having to compromise your build in order to have to account for those kinds of changes. It means that you can't just have like your forever armor, like I have been doing recently. Like, since making this Kushala set, I have not really had to do anything else. And, you know, Nergigante was definitely built up a lot better than Magdamalo in this game. Because Magdamalo is pretty cool. I like his design, I like the way he looks, that's all neat. But Nergigante is like, he's the Elder Dragon Eater, and he shows up on the back of Zora Magdaros, and you have to fight him off there. He, like, shows up before most of the big fights. You have to go fight him specifically. And the Magnamalo fight, they didn't do the same kind of build-up. Oh, he runs the rampages. He gets people whipped up in a frenzy, and then he eats the leftovers. Okay, so he's just a kill stealer. Nice. That's not as threatening as you make it out to be. I mean, he has a menacing appearance, but not nearly as cool. But then they did the same thing with him where you're doing the narwhal fight, and he shows up to help and, well, not really help, but to take some cheap shots at the All-Mother. And it just doesn't have the same effect because they didn't build him up the same, even though they're like trying to have him occupy that same narrative space. I don't like it. I've also kind of cool MO that the hot and cool areas have decently strong monsters in comparison to the Veil, so it's pretty important to have drinks. Yeah. Yeah, the Veil relies on you to have the certain toxic protection, but because of that, the monsters that basically operate in it are weaker, and that's a good trade-off. Communication error? What? Excuse you? I'm not even online.
It's all over for you.
Oh well, whatever. And same thing with the, like, trying not to compare this to Iceborne. Oops, I did not mean to do that last hit. Whatever. Trying not to compare it to Iceborne because this one's going to have its own update soon. So we might be able to have a better grasp on what their end game is going to be like. I feel like this is missing a lot of that good stuff. Like, this game has been out for almost a year now, if not a year, because I know it came out during the pandemic. But we don't have anything in this like the Kushala Daora fight. A lot of the events just seem like they don't seem as cool. Like, at this point in Monster Hunter World's life, we would have already had the Final Fantasy crossover, which brought us like all of the bird up memes and stuff. So, I don't know. I guess the Sonic the Hedgehog one's okay, I don't feel like it's nearly as good. But maybe I'm just being overly critical. But the Veil is smaller, less dangerous boyos, so while there's no drinks for it, you can get the armor to make it easier, or you can just deal with the health drain so long as you avoid the attacks. Yeah. But you also end up with like the Radabon hanging out down there. Radabon is pretty strong. Although he doesn't really hang out in the lower areas, he's mostly the higher areas, so maybe that's not a good comparison. Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot of strong guys in there. Not until you get Valhazak. Once you get Valhazak in there, then yeah, you got some problems hanging out in the Rotten Vale. But the Elder Recess, once you get to that part, I feel like the game did a really good job of building up to reaching the Elder Recess. So, yeah, this game doesn't have the same build up. Also, think about the fight with Xeno'jiiva, where you have this like humongous siege level monster where you have to fight it in 2 different areas, and it's super cool. The Narwhal fight, the Ibushi and Narwhal fight together, I feel like just can't achieve the same thing. Despite obviously trying to go for the same kind of level of epic, the build-up wasn't right, the execution wasn't right, the narrative level wasn't right. Like, it just feels like a weaker version of World. And if they were gonna... Oh, sorry. Radabon is normally in the upper areas. Yeah, there's the Bleedy Boy. That was Odogaron. Odogaron is that one. And the Gyros. Yeah, I'm missing some stuff, I'm sure, since I haven't finished the game yet. But yeah, the Elder's Recess is pretty cool. I enjoyed the build-up a lot. Yeah, it's really cool. And they got all those, like, big crystals. You could see the impact of this, like, mysterious dragon that they're trying to find. Like, there's a lot of cool build-up to it. But I feel like they didn't do that here. Like, they could have had Ibushi and Narwhal show up and affect the monsters, or had some cutscene that showed them doing stuff. But for the most part, they just kind of
What can I do you
didn't.
Just tell me what you need.
Yep, 200.
Excellent.
Hopefully I have the money for this. I do not have the money to upgrade this. Okay, we'll drop it down. There we go.
Piece of cake.
Just getting that armor up a little bit
Nice.
more. Well, let's see. I think 35 minutes for a quest is probably pretty good. So let's go ahead and end this episode here. If you liked what you saw, then please give the video a thumbs up. Subscribe to see more like it in the future. If you got any tips or tricks for me, leave them down below. If you're excited about any new upcoming games like the ones we talked about, then also give me a recommendation down there. And until next time, take care of yourself and take care of those around you. Bye-bye!